My name is Emma Fulton, and so far I'm living in Lincoln, Delaware, and I'm 67. I'll say I'm a biker and not an ex-biker because I still have it in my heart. When I started riding, it was when I got my own bike. It was in '74. The book, and then they had this fly girl with this outfit, and they called her the Cycle Queen. I'm like, I can do better than that. So I went and I got some studs, and I studded my pants, studded my Wrangler jacket. Then I did another one with teeny studs across the yoke, the back, and I just freaked it out. I called a profile female run. No men were allowed to ride with us that weekend. Men ride all the time. So the thing was to ride with women. Just have a hen party. So in that party I had sent flyers out from Rhode Island down as far as Washington, D.C. 10 girls. I lived on the 20th floor in Newark. And when I got off from work that morning, 10 girls waited for us. Was outside. 9 girls, really, because the 10th person met us on the turnpike. They were all intelligent women. Evelyn, she taught at Essex County College. Pat, she went to school. She stopped her profession, and she went to school and she became a RN. Irene, I wish I knew where she was. She and her husband had a transportation business. Barbara was Pat's friend. She was she was a secretary. Barbara, yeah. And then it was another friend that was Pat's friend. She used to fix computer card readers. When I finally got the club together, I was challenged. Some people call me a dyke. Some call me a lesbian. It was funny because riding, I had a belt that had hands that locked like this. And I had a pouch on with strings on it. And the belt came loose and the pouch got hooked up in my sprocket. Now the girls are gone. So Irene was hanging back with me. So we pushed the bike down the hill because we were up in the mountain, in and out mountains by now. And on our way to West Virginia. And she stuck with me. And I walked into this bar. And it was all these white people in the afternoon. They thought we were Martians. Irene had on her leathers. I had on my leathers. And when we walked in the bar, everybody stopped drinking, stopped talking, and they was looking at us, And I took off, it was hot. Took off our helmets, and I had the coldest beer I've ever had in my life. They didn't even have a refrigerator. They had ice bin. They had fresh ice. And their beer was in this bin, And they served us. So then I said to the guy, and then these other guys were snickering and they were laughing. And so I said, is there a bike club around, a motorcycle shop around here or something? I've got my pouches stuck in my sprocket and I can't pull it out. And they snickered and they said, no. So now Evelyn and them, they still gone because they haven't missed us yet. And so we drinking this beer. I said, well, have you got a phone book? No. So then finally, this guy he was at the lively table, and he said, what's the problem? Which bike is it? So I showed him the bike, and he went out there, and he just gave one big pull and pulled it out, and I couldn't get it, I didn't have the strength to do it. So I thanked him, and then I said, bartender, give everybody in here a drink. And that was like, what? And I said, give everybody a drink. They were afraid to drink. I said, well, you help me out. Can't you have at least, I see you got beer on your table, Don't you and your friends want a beer? And then finally he said, yeah, okay. By this time, Evelyn and them had missed me and made a U-turn and came back. And they was just shocked, that all of us were, us girls on bikes. But even on the highway, the truckers was blowing and waving at us, and, we had scarves blowing. But everybody was enthused. Everybody had their own thunder, because when I started asking them to ride, a lot of them had already started riding, but they were riding by themselves. So for them to ride as a group, it was just a lot of fun. Went to the doctor. It was the last appointment in the afternoon, and he kept being interrupted, getting reports from the hospital, from the various people that had to have tests done and everything. The nurses and hospitals and everything was calling him. So he kept being interrupted. He says, I'm so sorry. I said, no problem. He said, I'm gonna give you a complete physical. He said, you ain't got to pay for it anyhow because you got the sticker, they'll pay for it. So he started all up here, and then he said, how long have you had this lump under your arm? Well, when he said that, I just lost it. I started crying. What are you talking about, a lump under my arm? Yes, this ain't as the world turns, and you just going to ask me about a lump like that, And I just cried. I found out that I had been bleeding from my rectum for over a year, and I thought it was nerves. And then I got to see, that it wasn't. And I had, by the time, and I had prayed, I said, Lord, you healed me before, and I'm standing on your word that you can heal me and take this demon out of me. But you got to tell me where to go. You got to lead me. And he did. I was just led to go move down here to Dover. I got cousins and everything here. So I moved to Dover. When I moved, it was a woman in the office at the senior citizen place. She told me to go to minor maturity because I was told I was looking for office work. And out the clear blue sky, I had been there about 3-4 weeks. She said, we have a place called the Hope Clinic. Do you have health insurance? And so I said, no. She said, well, they will give you medication and examine you free, if you don't have health insurance or health. I had blood in my stool. And she says, call this number right away and for help. And it was Screening for Life, which is the governor's program. Well, because a lot of people have come to me and say that they are afraid to go take the test. And I'm saying, afraid of what? You're not going to feel anything. The doctor's going to put you out. And this is your life. It's like I tell them, I says, everybody wants to go to heaven, but nobody wants to die. Okay, so if you don't want to die, you've got to go and take care of yourself. You've got to go take that test. I never thought I would be in this position. I've always been a people person, like to run my mouth and talk to people. But if I can, like that song, if I can help anybody, then my living will not be in vain. And that's my national anthem.